That's a long story. So my first career, I've had 3 careers. My first career was in factories making books. We run 24 hours a day, 3 shifts, 6 days a week. And each machine had a crew on it. And that crew could consist of maybe 30 or 40 people at peak. If you get one person late, it messes up your whole schedule. So that part of the machine can't run and somebody else has got to fill it. Then you're started late. And time and attendance from a very young age was important to me because everybody had to turn up on time. For it all to work, for the whole plan to work, everybody had to turn up on time. So that's where my time and attendance thing came. I left the printing game back in 2005, I think, and my wife and I brought some properties to do up and sell on and make some money, and I ended up by accident running my own building company. I don't know anything about building. So I learnt very quickly, and then you employ people, and then people are writing out manual timesheets to Monday bricklaying, Tuesday bricklaying, Wednesday plastering. And I got to a stage where I knew the manual timesheets weren't correct, and they were lying to me and stealing time off me, and time is money. So then I started to look for a mobile app in 2012, I think this was. There must be a mobile app where I can do this clock in and clock out. Couldn't find a good one. And I couldn't find a good one that was cost effective. And I trialed 1 or 2 and they're hopeless, useless. And I thought, I could do better. I can't write software. So I sat down for weeks actually designing what I wanted this thing to do. Didn't know the software, but I knew what I wanted in and what it looked like and what have you. And I found a company to build the software. When I was explaining it to him on the phone, he said, yeah, we can do that. I said, yeah, but what about this? He said, yeah, we can do that. So eventually I went down to Brighton to meet this guy and saw his company. And we sat in an office for 2 hours and we went through piece by piece, page by page, what I wanted this app to do. And he said, yeah, all of that's fairly simple. We can do that, no problem. And that's how I found the company. So they have an office in the UK, but they have 700 employees in Jaipur in India. And now all I run is Clocked In. And that's how we came to be. That's where my passion for time and attendance came from. And we now supply into NHS and other companies around the country, which is from an idea that I had in 2012 or 13. It's come to this, so I'm really pleased with the business. I see it's just an Android tablet, and then we created the app that uses that. And then that's how people clock in and clock out with their finger. And then we have some background software, which we call the middleware. Okay. That's on the web, on a cloud somewhere. And then you can access that data that's created. Okay. So you can create timesheets and payroll reports and all sorts. What is it that I like about running the business? And for me, it is about profit, but it isn't. It's growing individuals. It's finding the right person and try and integrate them and grow them in the business, because that's the important thing. Those guys are the future of the business. I'm not the future of the business. I'm only here, I'm 55, 54. These guys are young, they're enthusiastic. They're the future of the business. So those are the guys that I've got to grow and mature and bring into the business and educate on them how to run and look after the business. I want to retire next year. They're the future. They're the future. So that's where I get my most fulfillment, is the people that I employ, is watching them grow and giving them opportunity to be bigger than they are in business. And I give them as much guidance as I can. They're willing to learn. They want to be here. Business aside, I like all the guys very much. Looking at the psychology of it, you get more out of them because they want to be a part of this. They want to see the business grow. They want to see success, and it all grows into what I think. I've got a great little company here. I think I've got some great guys working for the business, and I would be heartbroken if any of them left. I really would. An open mind, a desire to be something better, to help themselves, help the business, help me, help us all grow. Everything else you can teach, but if you don't have that inherent quality, you're lost. Andrew's been here 4 years. He's a fantastic guy. Got a lot of time for him. It's like chewing glass and staring into the abyss. It's exceptionally difficult. I've done it twice now, 3 times now, and it's hard. You have to be prepared to work. You can't work 40 hours a week. You need to be working, when you set up your own business, 60, 70, 80, 90 hours a week. Because you need to, because you're on your own, you're doing the marketing, you're doing the product development, you're doing the selling, you're doing the invoicing, you're doing all of that a large company has people to do. Be prepared to put some long hours in, because it will take time. Weekends, evenings, early mornings. So when I started the software development, I was running my building company at the same time. I was getting up at 6 in the morning, 5 and 6 in the morning, talking to the guys in India about what I wanted them to do. When I got home, I was reviewing the work they did during the day, providing feedback, talking to them in the morning, running my building company. At weekends, I was catching up, doing quotes and invoices and what have you. And that was my cycle. I was working 18 hours a day whilst trying to build one company, create one company, and running another. So it is hard work. Aspire to deliver the best product or service that you can. Be the best. And aspire to be the best. Because if you're mediocre, somebody else will do it better than you. So that's what I would say. Get support from your family. Say, look, I'm going to do this. It's going to take time. I'm going to need you to look after the kids or do the shopping or wash the cars at the weekend, because I'm working, doing this new thing, whatever that is. So get the support from your family, your friends or whatever. Not financial. Financial might come into it, but you'll go to institutions for that if you need that. But it's about that personal support, because at sometimes when you start your business, you will feel like you're in that boat alone. Somebody's chasing you for money here and you're trying to get money in, or you're trying to get somebody to do something for you and they're not doing it, and you feel like you're in that boat alone, paddling all on your own. And you're going to need that support. You're going to need somebody to lean on, say, do you know what, I've had such a bad day. And that's what I would say is the important things about starting a business. That determination to get from beginning to end. It will be rough. No two ways about it. It will be rough. But you just got to see the bigger picture, be able to stand back and say, right, this is my goal. Now, for years, I used to have a picture of an Aston Martin on my wall, because that was my thing. That's what I wanted. And to achieve that, it was to start a business. And that was my constant reminder. And read a couple of books as well. read some books about starting up a business, read some biographies and see how hard it really is. If we're having a particularly bad time in the office for one reason or another, whether it's software problems or hardware problems or whatever, through a positive mental attitude, is that storm that you're experiencing in the office, that storms are only temporary. They come and go, and the sun will shine again both sides. And you mustn't dwell or get too wrapped up in this storm of problems and you think, oh my God, what the hell's going on? You just got to do the best job you can, and at the end of it, the sun will shine again. And that's the biggest thing of running a business, is not get too caught up in the detail or the problem. Is just understand that, you know, with determination and time, you'll fix that, whatever that may be. You may lose a customer, you may make some people unhappy, but at the end of that, the goal is that you make more customers happy and you achieve more. So that's what my mindset is. You never see me down. Or
so you're talking about being the best in the business. How can you guarantee that? Because there's so much competition, and other people are finding out as well.
I never look over my shoulder to see what else is doing. If I get focused on what that other company's doing differently, better or whatever to what we're doing, I then aspire to be his company. We do the best job we can on the direction that we're going. So if that's what we want to do, we be the best we possibly can, and by doing that, you will be better than any other company. So you listen to your customers. What do they want? What are their requirements? You try and fulfill those requirements, build that relationship, long-term partnerships, and you deliver what they want. You don't look at your competition and go, well, they're doing something different, because that's not what your customer wants. So if I spent all my time looking at my competitors, I'm less focused on my customers. We do the best job we can for the customer we have, and we listen. So Andrew will tell you that with the fire arrest is when he talks to people, they say, but your software doesn't do this. Okay, we'll put that on our development list. So the next time we do a release, it has that feature, that function in the software. We can go back to that customer and say, we've developed the software and it now does this. Would you like another look at it? But if we were watching what the competitor's doing, we perhaps might miss a message from customers or potential customers. More often than not, it's less about the product that you have. You still got to have a quality product, but it's about having the service. So when I had that meeting down in London that time, their supplier at the time were hopeless. Didn't respond to emails, phone calls, and they wanted a better service. They know things are going to go wrong, but they want to be able to pick up the phone and talk to me now. And that's who we are. You send us a service ticket or a phone call or an email, we respond straight away. It's about the service. So if they've got a problem, they know you're going to fix it because they've just spoken to you and you've just said, I'm going to fix it. So it's about the service you provide as well as the product, but it's about the service. And you hear people talking about British Telecom, and they phone British Telecom and they can't get decent communication. They can't engage with that supplier to get the answers that they need. And if you've ever had any dealings with AO.com,
yeah,
you buy a fridge or a washing machine or whatever, the service that you get from that company is absolutely spot on. You order it, they send you an email, when's it coming, the day that it's coming, somebody rings you in the morning. I'll be there at 3 o'clock. They ring you half an hour before, say it's going to arrive. If you have a problem with the product, it gets resolved straight away. And the reputation that that company has as a service, because they're selling everybody else's product, but their reputation as a company providing the service they do is exceptional. That's what I aspire to be. When you're talking to people out in the world and talking about these things, what's the biggest thing you hear? What's the single biggest thing you hear about all the companies? It's never about the product. Oh, I couldn't get through to BT last week. What a nightmare that was. It's always about that communication and contact and service. That's what people complain about the most. We try our utmost not to be in that particular pool of bad service